Yeah. We just went up the road, didn't we, locally?
Yeah.
I
mean, it was we used it when we bought it back when it came from Belgium, and then we took it away. We gradually did more. Julia then decided she could become more confident. She said to me, "Stay at home. I'm going on my own." She didn't want me to go with her. She wanted to use it on her own, be independent. So she went out and did that herself. And
because
then
before he was coming each time, and I said, "This is not my freedom."
Go away. And she did that, and that was really positive. And then we took it away to the Cotswolds. We went for a week, and amazing interest from people. And
everywhere we go, somebody stops.
Somebody stops and talks to us. Yeah.
Everywhere.
So we see that we got cards. We give them to them. But the interest is significant, and also we're able to go long distances now. You know, whereas for the last 3 or 4 years since the medical problems, she hasn't been able to do that, and now.
Well, unless he pushed me in.
I push you in a wheelchair, which is horrible.
It's no fun.
So now we have for the first time freedom again. You know, it won't be the same as she used to ride horses and things. It won't be the same as that.
But I have to say, when you take it off tortoise mode and you're really speeding along, that sense that you get on a horse, because it's silent, it's quite a soft sort of ride. You know, if you momentarily shut your eyes, you could be back on a horse.
And I think because she's been on horses before, she seems quite unnatural at this, you know. But we can hold hands and eat an ice cream. I've seen that. And read a book. And they think this is amazing, you know. I mean, I don't think anybody that's seen that doesn't think it's great, you know. They want one, but of course they now know, because we've been looking at it, that you have to have a disability to use it, really, don't you? But I think that's the good thing about it, that people stop you and say, "That's fantastic, you know, I want one." And I don't think anybody would say that about a normal disability vehicle. I don't think most people would say, "I want a wheelchair," you know, it doesn't feel right, you know. So this is really different. And this is why we're here.
I've had the Fiat. This is the Ferrari.
But the other thing, this is interesting because Julia's, before we had to get a bigger car to transport it, Julia's got a little Fiat Pop, you know, and they're in all different colours.
C500.
Yeah, and I think we thought there's more Pop. And probably about 5 or 6 years ago, we would have said, "Well, I don't think we want one of those. You know, it's a bit old-fashioned." But I think Fiat, because they saw an opportunity to make a pretty mundane sort of car really exciting by colour and just make, you know, the roof and everything else. And I think that's what we feel about this. You know, you've made something that's pretty mundane into something that's really fantastic, because it just doesn't look like anything out there. And I think it's really good. Well, you've heard this before, but it's fantastic, you know.
Well, I went to a big shopping mall, and it was very busy. Not such a nice experience, but I didn't know that Peter was watching. People would go past, and then they'd all turn around and look, and I could hear people going, "Oh, it's got Segway on the." No, it's a Segway, and so it causes a stir wherever you go.
Yeah.
How my life before was very rich with all the things I could do, and over the last 5 years it's done that. And now with this, it's doing that. And that's very good. It's very good mentally, as well as the physical aspects of not being housebound anymore, not having to rely on Peter every time I want to go out. That is the key here for me.
If you could do washing up and ironing, it would be fantastic. Please. The thing for me, as someone who hasn't got a disability, my life has changed significantly since that's what happened to Julia. And actually we were going backwards, because everything had to take account of a wheelchair, everything had to take account of the fact Julia couldn't walk. So all the things we used to do, you know, so although Julia has the physical pain, I'm not saying it's the same, but I actually was restricted, and therefore you could see your life, I could see my life going like that too, you know. So now, even though I'm half a mile behind her, and I can't see her sometimes, you know, I feel as if I've got my life back too. So even for somebody who isn't disabled, it's actually fantastic.
It's like dropping the pebble in the pond and the ripples go out.
And we are only a month into it, you see. That's what's exciting. You see, I think that, you know, if we'd had this for 5 years, we'd probably give you a better perspective. But having only had it for 5 weeks, I think we're gonna do things that we haven't done. You know, we put this thing in the car. We just been to Regent's Park. You know, we stopped and Julia, we put it out and she went and we had a cup of tea. We went into the park, and before it would be I'd go and get the tea and we sit in the car and drink it. You know, so it's brilliant. I'm sorry I keep saying it's brilliant because he's sitting there, but it's fantastic.
I belong to a choir, and in May we're going down to Cornwall, which is right at the bottom of the country, to do a concert in it's a natural theatre that's carved out of rock,
By the sea.
and the audience sit up like this, and then the stage is here and the sea is here, and the dolphins are doing this while we'll be singing. I'll be sitting on this in the choir, so all those people watching us will be seeing this.
We're going to Provence in June,
Yeah, we've said that.
taking this, and we're going to Austria in
Yeah.
September.
Mhm.
So we're doing things that we wouldn't have done before.